For the people who haven't been here but are considering going here, it's a bit of a special place. Honestly, I didn't...
It's the place.
It's the place?
Yes.
In what sense?
It's unique. The environment that has been created by the earth movements and the changing by the million of years created this special environment, and exactly here. Atolls are ancient volcanoes, okay, that by the earth movements got submerged. In the meantime, around the volcanoes, coral was growing. So when the volcanoes submerged, the coral stayed there and created these rings of coral. Around these rings of coral, powerful currents pass by, and powerful currents bring along a lot of food, and all the food chain follows. So from plankton, polyps, there are the micro animals that create corals. They get their food, and then all the food chain follows. So smaller fish eating polyps or algae living together with corals, and then the bigger predators, and then the bigger predators, and then the bigger predators, and so on. And it's the place because of the variety and the massive amount of marine life here. What I could see in other places, in Egypt, in Oman, is the amount of fish getting lower and lower and lower by the time. Here, it doesn't happen yet, mainly because of the richness of how much food there is around. We are in the tropics, so a lot of energy from the sun creates a lot of food for animals. So that's the reason why Maldives are the place for divers. Cleaning stations are special places, very important to all marine life. What we can observe with mantas is them swimming very slowly because they need care from cleaning rust. What mantas do, they swim very, very slowly on top of the tila. They must keep swimming because they don't have a swimming bladder, so they cannot simply float on top of a cleaning station. Sharks, mantas, rays, these kind of animals, they cannot float by themselves, so they need to keep swimming. So you see mantas swimming slowly on top of cleaning stations until the false cleaning wrasse act. So false cleaning fish are not wrasse actually. They have teeth instead of a sucker in their mouth, and they bite. That's why sometimes you see mantas swimming slowly and then suddenly barrel rolling or having a haptic movement. And that's because they've been bitten by a false cleaning fish. Cleaning stations are absolutely necessary for animal survivals. It has been observed that animals that cannot get rid of parasites or they cannot keep their wounds clean, they die earlier. So cleaning stations are very, very important. That's why also we must, as guides, we must make sure that cleaning stations are preserved. Cleaning station for sharks are mainly kind of dentist service for sharks. Same behavior, so they swim slowly, they get to the cleaning station, but instead of swimming around the cleaning station, they swim upwards, let's say 40-45 degrees, waving their tails, and they open their mouth. That's a signal for cleaner fish to clean their teeth. They also get their skin clean, but mainly they focus on their mouth. Nurse sharks evolved to get their food in a different way, so they're not proper hunters. Their mouth is made so they can seal holes or cracks in rocks and simply suck out whatever is inside. Crabs, mainly crabs, shells, okay, crustaceans, let's say, mainly. They're kind of awkward swimmers. They're not supposed to be fast. We saw them laying on the bottom, and that's their natural environment. You can see it by the position of their pectoral fins. They're pretty close to the gills and pretty high. They're not too low on their body. Okay, they're pretty high because they must be able to sit on the seabed. And they are quite big animals. They look big, but they're not bigger than other sharks actually. Their tail became an extension of their body, so it looks like a full body, but it's there are two segments. There's the main body and the tail after it. They have strange behaviors. For example, for swimming, they're not that fast as other sharks, especially against current. Against current, to turn around, they need to swim like airplanes, let's say. To turn, they cannot use their tail. Their tail is not made for this rapid movement. They simply lower one fin and higher the other one, and so they can turn like airplanes do. They don't use much cleaning stations for their skin. They wrap themselves in the sand. So sometimes you see them swimming, then suddenly duck diving and scratch their back on the sand. Sometimes you see them sneezing because they live on the sand. So sometimes they get also they get the need of sneezing like we do, and you see their little nose moving rapidly, and suddenly, sure. I'm in the sea since I was probably 1 year old. Always been on boats and in the sea. My father was a military sailor, so he was all the time in the sea with us, and they taught me how to swim in a pretty rude way, just throwing me in the water. And yeah, and I always had a pair of fins and a mask with me since I was very, very young, doing snorkeling in Yugoslavia, ex-Yugoslavia, and we had a small boat as a family boat. All our summers were in the sea actually. And then, yeah, I always dreamed to become a scuba diver until I got my very first salary, so I was independent, and my very first investment was a diving course. And then after the very first confined session in the pool, I said, I'm gonna love this. So I went to a shop and I just bought, I don't know how many thousand euros materials. And yeah, and this happened when I was 20 years old. Now I'm 46, so I'm diving since 26 years. Since 26 years. What I want from scuba diving is the zero gravity feeling. Honestly, I'm happy when I'm in the water. It doesn't matter if I see mantas or if I don't see, if I see sharks or if I don't see. If I see something or if I see nothing, it doesn't count much for me. For me, it's flying, is the zero gravity feeling.
When diving with you, it's very clear to see that you have a pretty special connection to the marine life.
I feel part of it. I mean, if I could have gills, no more need for heavy tanks on my back. I was just going. I mean, I'm one of them. When I see it happened, okay, it happens a few times. Now, believe it or not. When I have down times and I see Mother Nature sending me a signal. I had a few weeks ago a very tough week, very tough divers, and yeah, I was a little bit in a bad mood. And then suddenly in Alimata, where we've been diving yesterday, an eagle ray just passed by, he came towards me, and we stared in each other's eyes. And then I knew that that was for me. A few seconds later, a group of snappers, again looking in the eyes. It's a fish. I mean, you see, it's not intelligent, but there was a kind of. That was for me.
Like the turtle moment, also.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. I mean, staring in the eyes. I mean, that was. Love is a reptile. I mean, it is not thinking much, but that was a special moment. Yes. That was a special moment. Yeah, I feel part of it. I mean, that's my place. Whenever I don't feel a guest, I feel I belong to that. Others are guests, not for me. Yeah. If I could choose to have gills and say goodbye to the rest of the world, bye-bye. See you, see you next life.
Ooh.